there is no perfect person, but what I think is really the worst thing that threatens our nation right now is a political class, a ruling class, and they are so threatened by anybody who is not beholden to them, they will do virtually anything. And I think that's what's likely to destroy.
You could say that till the cows come home, sir. This guy is, I'm sorry, he's a racist, and he's not good for the country.
What's the alternative?
Well, there you see it. Dr. Ben Carson, who, of course, endorsed Donald Trump a few weeks ago, was back on ABC's The View yesterday, and Whoopi Goldberg made it clear her disdain for Donald Trump and Dr. Carson's endorsement. However, the Republican frontrunner was quick to defend Dr. Carson, as is his wont. The Donald called the hosts brain-dead puppets. You can see the article as it appeared on our parent website, Newsmax.com, and the accompanying tweets in that article. Well, we're not going to tweet. We're going to talk with two gentlemen on our political panel. First, Skyping in from the Queen City of the West, Cincinnati, the former mayor of that great city and the former Secretary of State for Ohio, Ken Blackwell. Ken is now senior fellow at the Family Research Council. And from New York City via Skype. New York City, yep. He's the senior political contributor for Forbes.com, Rick Ungar. Now, Rick, as expected, there was Trump taking to Twitter, blasting Whoopi Goldberg and the show. You know, everybody tries to take aim at Donald, but he always seems to have a response, and he must be wearing out his thumbs using Twitter.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if we've learned anything from this campaign, stay off of your Twitter account between the hours of 11:30 at night and 12:30 in the morning, because that's when Donald was going nuts. Look, I mean, what Ben Carson did was really weird yesterday, just in the clip you just played. When Whoopi accused Donald Trump of being a racist, he didn't say, no, he's not. He said, well, what are our options? That is, you know, with friends like that, who needs enemies? But of course, Trump is known to respond. I'm not sure his comment about the View's ratings is particularly relevant, but, you know, that's Trump.
Ken, let me ask you, was Dr. Carson wise to go on that program, or Whoopi basically makes Whoopi by ripping apart conservatives and calling them racist and going after Trump? Should the good doctor have been better prepared and expected that kind of attack from Whoopi Goldberg?
Absolutely. And I am one who is not particularly finished with my vetting of Donald Trump against the standards of a constitutional conservative. But I don't think Donald Trump is a racist. And I think by going on and not saying really clearly and directly, no, he's not, let me tell you why I'm supporting him, or let me tell you what he's done to create a growing economy and create jobs for all people, he in fact started to act as if he was the lesser of two evils.
Well, that's what he's been doing all along. Ken's got that exactly right. But this is what Ben Carson has been doing. He can't bring himself to actually endorse Donald Trump. He just, you know, condemns him with faint praise.
Well, let me talk to you about something else that's happening between two Republican candidates. It's been called the War of the Wives, continuing now from Mrs. Trump and Cruz. Josh Kraushaar of National Journal was on our program last night. He says this fight between Trump and the Texas senator could spell trouble. Let's listen and watch.
Consider that we're talking about Ted Cruz and Donald Trump's wives at a time when Europe is in the midst of a horrible terrorist attack, and these candidates for the Republican nomination need to show their commander-in-chief credentials. I mean, this just hurts the party as a whole, and it hurts Cruz and Trump.
Now, Rick, we know you lean to the left and have a D beside your name, but what about that? Should the candidates listen to Josh? Is this going to end up hurting the Republican Party?
It certainly could, and what's distressing is that these candidates would need to be told by Josh that their behavior is absurd. He's absolutely right. There are bigger fish to fry right now, and to behave this way when, let's face it, a lot of American women do have some questions when it comes to Donald Trump and his relationship with women. This doesn't help him. It doesn't help anybody. I don't know about you, but I find it all incredibly embarrassing.
Well, Ken, let's talk about this. Of course, for years we've heard about the so-called gender gap, but a Gallup poll shows Republican voters are losing confidence in the election process for the GOP. It's dropped 15 percentage points from the same question when surveyed last month, from 46 to 30%. Is this a sign that Republicans have to get back on the road to respectability?
Well, let me just first say, these guys ought to quit cannibalizing one another and focus on Hillary Clinton. I've heard from some of the operatives in the Trump camp that what he basically was saying was not really directed at Ted Cruz, but it was a signal to Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton that when he is punched, he will use every tool in his arsenal to punch back. There is some risk in doing that, given what you all just said about the gender gap. Donald Trump believes that he's in fact expanding the electorate, and that while he will lose to Hillary with women, the gap that he loses to her with women will be dwarfed by the gap that he wins males and conservatives by.
And we should note for the record, there's no... sorry, Rick, we're just very quickly, 10 seconds, sir.
Oh, I was just saying, hard to buy that because his comment was he was going to spill the beans on Mrs. Cruz. I don't think Hillary needs that message in terms of what Donald Trump plans on doing.
Fair enough. We'll have to leave it there. Rick Ungar, Ken Blackwell, thanks very much, and we'll have more after this.